So one of our listeners asked a great question about Matthew 7. He pointed out that everybody and their brother seems to remember Jesus' words at the beginning of Matthew 7, "Judge not, that ye be not judged." But he asked, how does that fit with later on in the chapter, verse 15, where Jesus says, "Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravening wolves." Well, wait a minute. Doesn't that require some level of judgment? Well, of course. I think the key is that in the first instance, Jesus is not talking about judging teaching. He's talking about judging persons. And he tells us, don't do it. I'm the judge. I'm the one who will sit on the throne on the last day. I will render the verdict on everyone's life. I don't need your help for that. So he warns us off from that judging and condemning of one another. But when it comes to teaching, he literally commands us to be aware, to beware, to watch out for anyone who is teaching something that's not true. When I was a young person, my pastor always ended every single sermon with these words. I love this. He would wrap it up with, "Test the words of my witness to you today against these words of Saint," and then he'd read whatever gospel reading he was preaching on for that day, and invite us to check out what he'd said against the text, to test it out. And the Apostle Paul exhorted all of us to test all things, hold fast what is good. So that testing is an important part of any teaching. So when the world says, hey, Jesus says don't judge, we're like, yeah, right, we shouldn't judge other people, but we certainly have to judge the veracity of any claim that says this is God's will or this is what God wants us to do on the basis of his word. For more on this, check out our podcast on Matthew 7 in the links below.